we're going on a net zero journey. So as you know, we've got Energy Live News, we have Future Net Zero, and we've been inspired by the partners and our supporters of Future Net Zero, looking at what they're doing around net zero. And I suppose Sumit and I took a look at ourselves and went, we should be doing something as well. So I'm going to start that journey today. And the place to start is you need to benchmark, you need to know what you're actually doing yourself. So I'm going to be downloading a piece of software which is going to enable us to understand where we're at, and then we can set some targets and try and work to go down our own net zero journey. So excited, but also quite apprehensive.
Yeah, it is exciting. And you touched on it there, but why? Why does this need to happen?
If you look at what's happening out there, companies are now more and more being asked to talk about how sustainable they are. What are they trying to do to help the planet? We talk about with Future Net Zero, better business, better planet. And I think we just thought we need to do it ourselves. So that's what we're going to do. As I said, I'm slightly apprehensive because I always think that pulling together lots of figures and data, etc., can be quite difficult. We had a look at the software last week, a thing called Carbon Expert, and we think that it's quite simple to utilize. And we think that if that works really well, we'd like to then help other companies on the same journey. So whether that's a smaller company like us, we're an SME, or whether we look at helping larger companies, we're just trying to do something that's right for the world.
Yeah, I'm quite excited actually to see how it goes, but how do you think it's going to go?
So my apprehension is around, I know that I'm going to have to fill in figures. I'm going to have to go and find those figures. So it'll be around energy usage, things like, how we use cars, how we use transport. But pulling that all together, I just don't know how easy or difficult that's going to be. So that's my apprehension, is that I could start this and go, God, I can't pull it together, or it might be a lot easier than I think. And then once we know where we're at and we're benchmarked, we can start looking at what can we do to make us, to move us on reducing our carbon footprint. And that's the key bit here, is finding out what our carbon footprint is and then trying to reduce it.
What do you hope to get out of it ultimately?
I think short term, very quickly, just an idea of what we're doing from a carbon footprint. We could then very quickly go to, or do we look at offsetting? I prefer not to do that. I think there may be some embedded carbon in our footprint that we may need to go down an offsetting route. But then look at, once we've benchmarked, start looking at ways of how we can start to reduce it. And so it may be that we'll invest in, we might say to everyone, we'd like you to go and get bicycles, and we might help you invest in a
buy me one if you like.
Don't get too excited. Also, we have some difficulties that we have a landlord doesn't want to invest in the building fabric. It's understandable. It's not the greatest of office. However, we may have some hard choices around that. We may decide that we want to move office so that we have more control over what we can do around insulation, windows, energy, etc. It may be that one of the easiest things we can do is go, right, we're going to switch energy supplier, or ask our landlord to switch energy supplier, so we got a greener supply. That I don't know. The short-term thing is benchmark, find out where, is our carbon footprint out here, or is it here? And then what do we do to decrease it, so that I suppose we can live the net zero journey that we're talking about with our partners and supporters.